What's going on, everybody? Shane here with KNAC, and I'm joined by Sean Hynes of Ingested. How the hell you doing, brother?
What's up? I'm good, man. Yeah, just out here grinding, doing the usual on Choas and Carnage. But yeah, I'm good, man.
I know I want to start off saying that's a great tour, and I'm glad it's underway, and so far so good. Any fun shows that stood out so far?
The first few were real good. Yeah, just the usual. Um, People going crazy and pit and stuff. Just exactly what I expect from a tour of this caliber. So yeah, it's fun. It's a privilege to be on.
Hell yeah, you can't expect anything less than that because I don't mean to make you feel old here, but I mean this marks 20 years of Ingested. I think it's a
Yeah.
huge milestone for any extreme metal band. When you look back at when you started in Manchester versus now, like what's going through your mind?
Yeah, I mean, the things we've accomplished over those 2 decades is far surpassed what I think we even thought was possible. Earlier on, when we were young and in quite a close net scene back in Manchester. We had aspirations to break out and do something. I guess something more than what we thought was possible. But I don't think we would ever have predicted the things we've achieved over the years. So I'm very thankful, very lucky, and lucky for us, we've got a fan base that have pulled us through and kept us going this long and this far. To be honest.
Hell yeah, you do. I mean, it's been you and Lynn holding down the band for the whole time. That
Yeah.
how's that chemistry been? I mean, you guys got to be brothers at this point, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we were best men at each other's weddings and that. So yeah, we've always been pretty much on the same kind of trail of thought and the way we do things, and our ethics and work ethic is just exactly the same. We have both have different attributes. He's very good behind the scenes in terms of the financing and just all that business side of it. Whereas I'm relied upon to make the tunes and just write and do what's needed. But yeah, very reliable. So it's a good relationship. Yeah, I don't know, man. We've been in multiple bands over the years together. So I don't know. Our chemistry's just always been there. You know.
I mean, you nailed it right there. Reliability is key when it comes to being in a band in general.
Yeah.
Just that reliable sound that we've expected from Ingested over these 2 decades. What identity do you feel towards your earlier stuff that you still feel you need to incorporate into, we'll get into it, this new album that just came out?
Well, we had this conversation when we decided to plan what this album's going to be, and it was overwhelming in the terms of that. The consensus was saying, let's do what we're good at. We specifically chose songs that we like to play live because we've experimented over the years with certain albums. Last two albums had some kind of some odd choices for what people expect from us, but you get complacent over the years, so you start trying new things and stuff. But ultimately, the songs that we play live are always that groove orientated, and ones that we just we enjoy headbanging to, ones that aren't too insane on the right hand, etc. But yeah, that's exactly what the game plan was for this album, which was obviously take everything that we've done over the years, but pull out what we did earlier on, which the fans expected from us, and the fans that liked about us in the first place. So yeah, that's kind of denigration.
That being said, Denigration, you're calling this, exactly a new chapter in the band. Was there anything you exactly really wanted to nail down with this, where you had some leftover ideas from the last album or anything just laying about?
I mean, because I write so much, you are going to get some sort of crossover. But I think the oldest songs, technically, for the album of We Are Inherently Evil and Dredge the Dark, which, funny enough, had only two eight-string songs on the album. So I guess they kind of carried over from the last one. But even with them, there was a bit more, I don't know, more of a brutal intent with it, I guess. And it just kind of flowed from there, really. But we just really wanted to concentrate on just having, when your face screws up when you hear a riff and you're like, that was kind of the blueprint of what we wanted to do on this album, to be honest.
I mean, also, you had still a fairly new lineup. Did you get any inspiration from them and everything as well?
Yeah, I mean, obviously when Drew came into the band, his style of playing was it was a little more technical than mine, so we kind of had to rein him back a little bit in certain areas. But you know, the songs he contributed, amazing additions to the album. So yeah, it's great to have that extra writing talent in the band because I've not had that for a very long time. And also his solo ability. You know, we only managed to squeeze two on this album, but you know that's something great to explore in the future. But another dynamic, another sort of shred element that I can't do. I could do leads and stuff, but nothing on the caliber that Andrew can do.
Hey, I think it's still ripping. I think this album's killer. I mean, I listened to it a shit ton so far, and it just absolutely
Sick.
rips. And it's something that, I was expecting from Ingested, nothing less.
Yeah.
And now you and I know Drew just kind of both did vocals on the album and everything. How was stepping into that form and that role?
Well, for Andrew, it was easy because he's used to doing that. You know, a lot of his bands over the years, he has done the dual thing. He's done vocals and guitar at the same time, like his other band, Interloper. He's the main frontman for that. So for him, it was no problem. Like, obviously, I've got kids, so the window of time for me to do it was pretty short. But with him, he'd almost finished it over the weekend. I was like, oh, Jesus, I've got, I've got to really step this up. It was harder for me because I'm so used to doing bit parts, and doing full sessions was a big ruler on my voice and not something I was used to. But luckily, I got through it, and we managed to get the job done in the end.
I mean, that being said, were there any moments that you had to like rethink any riffs or any kind of space in between songs because of how you were doing vocals?
I picked a style that I knew I could get the most long enough sessions out of. So the lower gutturals you hear on the album are the ones that I managed to balance out the most. When I do like my almost mid-rangey, shouty kind of vocals, that fatigues the voice pretty quick. And I was like, there's no way I can do a full album with all that. So I had to pick my moments on that. I obviously picked moments. I could do inhales as well. I've like got three styles. Like the inhales are the easiest for me to do. I did all the album inhales first because once I started doing the exhales, that's when that part side of me goes quickly. But yeah, I just picked my spots, and obviously we had such a short time to do it. So over the course of an afternoon, I kind of did what the previous vocalist did in terms of being able to touch style and then being able to 50-50 each between me and him. And that's the quickest way I could. I was like, that sounds like you, like blah, blah, blah. And I just did that for the whole thing. And obviously when he did his stuff first, he was changing things as he goes along that would fit better. And, you know, obviously I did mine pretty quickly in terms of trying to map it out, but he kind of honed in once he was doing his side. And then once it came for me to do it, I was like, right, okay, I know exactly what I'm doing. So yeah.
Hey, it
Plus
turned.
it helped the fact that, plus the help, I wrote half the lyrics. Drew wrote some lyrics, so at least I knew I could go and do my songs real quick. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it turned out great. I was gonna say, like, what inspiration did you have going into writing lyrics for this one? I mean, the world's pretty fucked, so there's probably a lot to draw from right now.
I mean, yeah, people are always asking if there's like themes to it and stuff, and obviously you'll get an interview asking such a deep question about so the title denigration. It's just, I mean, to be honest, it fits some of the lyrics and it's a cool title. That's kind of as far as it goes. But in terms of lyrical concept, we pick against like our own mental health issues, things that we're experiencing, things that we experience around us. It's just everyday to day things, but we map them in a way where they're not always obvious about what they're about, and the listener can take their own meaning. And often so when I've been asked before, people go, you know, when this particular song did this for me and I got this from it, it's like, cool that you got that from it, but that wasn't what I was getting from it when I wrote it. But so I always like to keep it that way. I don't like it being too on the nose about what it's about.
I mean, that's music's all up to interpretation. Everybody's gonna listen to something
Exactly.
differently, and that's one thing I feel that it transcends whatever you believe in. That's the one of the universal things humanity's done that's good is music.
Yeah.
And now I know you have Adam touring with you live right now. How's that been? How's his energy been for the tour so far?
Yeah, he's a great professional. His vocal abilities speak for themselves. To be honest, he's great to hang around with. So he's been a breath of fresh air to tour with. To be honest, I could tell from the because he did a tour with us in Europe, and I can tell from there to now like just how confident in the role he is. You know, he has his bits in between songs. He says what he says. So yeah, he's excellent.
Hell yeah, you can't ask for anything more than that. A good charged front man to help lead things along probably gives you guys a little bit of break on the vocals too.
Absolutely.
And now, one of my actually tracks that I really dug was one of your singles, Oath Betrayed. That's become like a standout track for me. I mean, it's a single and everything. Forgive me. That was the one you guys did a video on too, right? Sometimes I get
Like a lyric video.
yeah.
It's like
Okay. Sometimes I get like new albums. I'm still trying to remember the titles. I'm like, wait, which one did have the video? But that was
yeah.
even cool. Was there anything that like you felt about that track? I know you mentioned it was about to get cut. Like, were you just like, you
Yeah.
know what? Fuck it, put it on there.
Yeah. I mean, I wrote that one so late that it wasn't even considered, but we knew we had it in the bag. And I think when we went in the studio, Lynn had mentioned that if there was any time, maybe we just do these couple of extra songs you've got and maybe have them as singles down the road, etc., just to make the best of the time that we had. When we were listening to the sequence, it felt like there was a pace issue. I think it was just after Dredge the Dark. I think that's where it comes in, right? Just after Dredge the
Yeah.
Dark. And we just felt like there was a pace issue there. And I slotted that in there and went, well, that works. So I guess we're going to be putting that in it. But yeah, cool song, man. A little riff at the start's a little unusual for us. It's, I don't know, man. Just it works. It works well within the sequence. So I'm pretty glad it made the cut, to be honest. And now we're playing it live.
Hell yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
See, now you're mentioning something that not a lot of. I feel like only bands take that into consideration, but as a fan, when I listen to an album, pacing and sequencing, it means something to me because I listen to a whole album still. How did you decide the speed versus like groove and like kind of heaviness when you were pacing this album and like putting it together?
This is a shame because I know a lot of people, a lot of the younger generations are just banging random playlists on Spotify. They're
I
not
hate it.
getting
I hate it.
what is intended. And I don't think that's even if the industry moves in a way where it's albums are not becoming a thing anymore. I'm still always going to be conscious of sequencing, it won't matter what it is, because I find it's important and I like that front to back experience. Like there's things you can get away with in an album, like interludes and kind of softer moments, etc. That you can utilize. And I think it's really cool. But yeah, I just go instinctively when it comes to sequencing. I guess it's up to me. I mean, I'm maybe the one who's shouting the loudest about how things should be ordered. And I always have a plan in mind anyway. I always try and look how a song ends and starts, and there's always got to be a strong starter or a good pacey second track or etc. But in the middle, you can kind of pull the gas off a bit. But towards the end, you need to put the throttle back down. So yeah, I'm conscious of that. I like peaks and troughs, and I take a lot of thought into it, to be honest.
No, absolutely. Like when I felt like I was listening to this album, it just flowed, if that makes sense. I was like, this album
Yeah,
makes sense. Like
good,
it didn't jump around. I was like, holy shit, it goes from track to track, and I actually am to me it draws me in is all I'm saying. Which it should,
good.
keeps your attention. But I want to say another thing that kept my attention was hell, the guest list on this album was stacked as well. I mean, you got John Gallagher,
Yeah,
Dying Fetus, you got Peeling Flesh, Skylar and Kyle Medina, Body Snatcher. It's like,
yeah.
how did you go about picking out who you wanted on each song? And you're like, you know what? Let's see if they're all into these songs, or how'd that go about?
John Gallagher was one I've been after for a while, and we made a conscious effort to try and get him for it. We're touring pals, we know each other, so it was quite easy to get him. When I was writing Merciless, we'd just come off tour with Peeling, and I thought that was a cracking track for D to be on, so that was kind of nailed on. But in the studio, I kind of changed a little bit. We got Skylar last minute because there was a section at the end of the song he's on where it's like another voice would suit this, and we just kind of bounced ideas, and Skylar came up, so Skylar pretty much signed on. Kyle I was trying to get for a while, but I know Kyle's busy for a bit, so I wasn't sure if he was actually going to come on to do it. And then it kind of happened last minute in the studio. He was free, and he ended up being in a position that we didn't hear him originally, but because of the way it worked out, we're like, oh, that is a good bit for Kyle. So Kyle ended up on the end of that, which worked perfectly. So yeah, it was just these are friends, you know them. It's a good privilege to have. You can hit up your mates who are excellent talents and get them to collaborate with you, which is great.
I mean, you even said it, you've been after John Gallagher for a while, and he plays on,
Yeah,
Watch You Fold. I mean, that track is fucking heavier, and I felt like he pushed it even to nastier
yeah.
territory. How did you feel when that track came about? Especially like, you're like, I got John Gallagher on this track. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people have seen me in interviews before. It comes as no surprise that Dying Fetus are my favorite death metal band of all time. I own one of John's touring guitars that he played with, so I'm a big fan. He's top five vocalist for me as well. I owe that guy a lot in terms of the way I've wrote, I've wrote ingested riffs, to be honest. But so getting him was, yeah, it's a real treat for me. It's awesome. He's a legend of the game. He's one of my inspirations. So obviously when I ended up re-recording it, it's my lyrics anyway. I was doing back and forth to John Gallagher. I was like, this is pretty cool. Do you know what I
Hell
mean?
yeah. I mean, those are the kind of things that you enjoy as you grow as a band. You make more friends. You make friends on the road, and you guys help each other out. You help each other grow, and
Yeah.
it's killer to see this kind of collaboration. I definitely love guest picks and everything. And speaking of which, being on the road, as we can see your lovely U-Haul background and everything, let's talk about the tour a little bit. I know you're on the Chaos and Carnage tour with Carnifex Body Snatcher, which, he was on the track, 200 Stab Wounds and Gate to Hell,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
even Body Box. Like, with even the Canadian portion coming up later this year, you have a stacked year with touring. Are there any standout places you're excited to get back to? Any venues you love playing? Any places you want to go eat again?
I mean, I come here so often that it's almost like a second home. I mean, when me and Lynn landed and we're here for like a week, we just turned around to each other and went, this is weird that this is so normal these days. Like the blessing and the curse of touring is you get to see all these places. The curse of it is you get so used to it that it's not the most exciting thing of all time anymore. You just get so used to what it is. I mean, all these venues I've played a bunch of times, but a tour like Chaos and Carnage is one of those tours that is a slightly higher caliber when you're doing a smaller tour or smaller headliner where you actually get to play the bigger venues again. So that's been quite exciting. I like playing. We played the Nashville, the Bowl the other day. Hadn't done that since we toured with Lorna Shore, so it was cool to go in that venue again. So yeah, on this one we got a few ones like House of Blues. Always cool to play a House of Blues because it's got that kind of prestige, I guess. But yeah, it's good getting on a bigger tour. It's you don't always get to do them too often. So any tour that we've got with all the bands, all the friends we get to tour with, it's a plus to me, and it's a great thing. Like the other night we played the Masquerade a million times in Georgia. Next door was Carcass, so I was like, sweet, I get to go and watch Carcass tonight.
Hell
Unluckily for
yeah.
us, it was competing with us, so
Well,
obviously our turnout wasn't the most amazing, but I got to see Carcass and see my friend who plays in Carcass, so it was cool, man.
it's always rough when there's like you're in a big market and then you're like, damn, it's my friend's band is playing that night too.
Yeah,
And then you're like
yeah,
competing. But you got to at least go see them too, so that's cool. I mean,
yeah,
it's a big year for you guys, with the new lineup. You're old now, it feels like a new chapter in Ingested's period, and you're firing on all cylinders. Like, what else can we
yeah.
expect from you guys after this? Like, what else is keeping you motivated? Probably just being busy. You're like, I don't have time to think about anything else but moving forward right now.
Well, obviously, on the earlier days, you're in a band to just do for the passion and the love of it and stuff. As you get 20 years down the line, it becomes a business, and unfortunately, it does become a job. So there's always the element where you have to be business minded and you have to keep going on tour, have to keep releasing albums and selling merch because that's your income, that's what you do. But don't get me wrong, there's still bucket list moments that we still haven't done, and which that does also fuel the fire for me. Like I've still not done Japan. Somehow, every time we end up trying to do it, there's COVID, there's an injury, there's a visa issue. I'm like, Jesus, can we not just get over there already? So obviously I want to do that. And there's also bands that I want to tour with still that I just still haven't managed to do. And one of those bands was Die Artist Murder. I was like, cool, I
Oh
finally
yeah.
get to do it. And then they pull out. It's like, oh, okay. Won't be touring with Die Artist Murder then. We've Injected still never gone out with Whitechapel somehow. And it's just like there's still certain bands I'm like, come on, let's get that ticked off the box. But yeah, just you always find new ways to kind of keep it going. I guess you always make up these new things. It's like the first time I saw my record in a shop, I was like, that's amazing. Ticket, tick it off. Like you just keep finding more ways to give you the passion and the drive to keep doing it. And like I said, at the moment, it's Japan.
Hell yeah, that's a good goal to reach towards, you know. So I want to thank you, Sean, for your time. I'm excited to see you in the LA date on the 30th of this month. I will be
Sweet.
looking for you there. As everybody's seeing this, all the tour dates, go see them. They're currently on the Chaos and Carnage tour, and then you have the summer tour with the Canadian dates, as well as the new
Yeah.
album Denigration. For some reason, I kept
Oh yeah.
saying the longest time I had to train myself. It's not disintegration.
Yeah, it's a strange little word, but yeah. Obviously, new album's out. We're very proud of it. Obviously, support the album, buy it, stream it, etc. I know once this tour finishes, we're going out to a full Canadian run with our boys in Angel Maker and Disfiguring the Goddess. Actually, I don't think they've ever done a tour. If they have, I don't know about it. So you should definitely get out and watch Disfiguring the Goddess for the first time as a two-piece. So it should be fun, man. Can't wait to do it.
Hell yeah. Brother, I hope you have a great show tonight in North Carolina, and I hope you have a flawless tour and a fun tour and no problems. Let's say that.
Excellent, man. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your time, Shane.
Sean, it's a pleasure, brother. Take care. Have a great rest
Sweet.
of your day. Stay heavy,
Cheers,
everybody.
brother.